Hey, what is up guys? I'm Exteria, and I wasn't planning to make a video on this until someone sent me an email about how to play the different playstyles you can do in TFT, and I totally forgot that most players don't know how to do that, especially if you're a new player. So, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to level and what comps go into those kind of playstyles. And for the individual that sent me that email, this video is for you, and congrats on Emerald. Starting off with our first playstyle, which is rerolling for 1-cost carries. This is actually pretty simple and pretty easy to do. At stage 2-1, you have to decide to either win streak or lose streak. For those that don't know what that means, you have to either win 5 rounds or lose 5 rounds. The reason why you want to do that is because you gain a lot of income, so therefore you can roll for your units and 3-star them later. Also, to do this playstyle, you should never level up. I see some casual players, they level up one time so they can win maybe like 1 or 2 rounds and then they lose anyways, so there's no point in doing that because you don't streak to gain extra income. And for those that don't know about anything about streaking, you gain more income depending on how much you streak, and it works both ways, meaning if you win 3 or 4 rounds, you gain +1 gold. Same thing of losing. If you lose around 3 to 4 rounds, then you gain +1. So it's the same amount of streaks for both ways. If you want to gain more income, winning 5 rounds in a row, then you gain 2 gold extra. If you win 6+, then you gain 3 gold. This is actually really important because you can actually cap out your econ faster, and on top of that, you gain more income in the long run. So if you don't know the basics of this, that's probably the reason why you're not making enough money, because you're not streaking. So with that out of the way, going back to rerolling for 1-cost carries, if you want to play an aggressive playstyle so you can gain more copies of the unit, because there is shop level percentages, at stage 3-1 is your last chance to be level 4, and afterwards you're going to be level 5 next turn. So if you want a higher probability chance to 3-star easier, this is a more aggressive playstyle where you want to roll down to at least 32 gold, because the math, which I'm too lazy to show in this video, you gain back 50 gold in 2 turns, which is pretty simple enough, right, to understand this. But if you don't want to do this aggressive playstyle, you don't have to do it. You can just slow roll next turn until you get your carry unit to level 3. This is the playstyle of like Morgana and Poppy reroll, which is pretty popular now, and I'm going to make a video about that pretty soon. After your carry is level 3, then you want to level 8 as fast as possible and then end the game that way. Now moving on to the 2-cost reroll carries. This playstyle, there's 2 different types, win streak or lose streaking. This one I'm going to show you win streak, which is basically high tempo to fast 6. And the reason why you want to hit level 6 and roll that way is because it's the highest percent chance you can find 2-cost units. In order to do that, you basically have to stage 2-1, level to 4. This is the case if you want to win streak. At stage 2-3, make intervals of 10 gold again, like 10, 20, 30, 40 gold, because if you don't, you'll be poor for the rest of the game. And then this is like a pretty good strat if you want to look for maybe a 3-cost, 4-cost unit. If you have more than like 14 gold, 24 gold, 34 gold, like somewhere around that range, then you want to pre-level to 5, which makes your shop look like this. Don't do it if you're around like 19 gold, and then if you win, you make 20 gold, because you're just losing income in the long run. Unless you really think you can high roll a 4-cost unit, then feel free to do so. But most of the time, you'd be skipping this part anyways, because at stage 2-4, you hit level 5 anyways after carousel. And then stage 2-6, or you could do this at 2-5, you can make intervals again of 10, 20, 30, 40 gold. The reason why this is important is because the more econ you have, the more you can roll for your units. So basically saying this is like a marker to know when to make econ again. But essentially, you want to make econ as much as possible every round. And then at stage 3-2, you hit level 6 and then roll for your board for whatever carry it is. Say for example, if it's the fairy carry, then by the time you get your carry 3-star, then level to 8 or 9 to finish the game that way. When I say at stage 3-2, hit level 6 and roll for your board, I don't literally mean roll all your gold for it. Just roll enough to stabilize, meaning 2-star important units. Say for example, like your main carry, just roll enough to 2-star them, like around like 30 gold, and maybe hopefully you can 2-star your tank as well. If you don't hit anything at all when you roll down to 30 gold, well, it's just not meant to be for one, so that means you should have pivoted to a different comp. But in most cases, we're gonna stick to our comp anyways, so just save up to 50 gold, and then again, roll down until like 30 gold to get your comp going. And then save up to 50 gold, and then slow roll with 50 gold until your 3-star units. Then just hit level 8 whenever you want. For the lose streak style to fast 6, basically you don't want to level at all and always make intervals of 10 gold as much as possible so you can like have a lot of money and then roll for your board later. Then stage 2-6 during Krugs, if you think you're too weak to win the creep round because maybe you don't have anything on the board, then you can level at least to level 5 and then just beat the creep round that way, have an extra unit on the board so you can beat the creep round, because you need the extra resources from the creep round after you beat it with like item components and gold. Just save your gold again until stage 3-2, hit level 6, and then roll for your board again. Like I said earlier, don't roll literally all your gold. Just roll enough to stabilize. And then once you get your carry 3-star, hit level 8 or 9, whatever you want. Now onto the 4-cost carry route, or even 3 costs. which is high tempo to fast 8, meaning win streak all the way to level 8. And how you do that is we already explained how to do stage 2-1 all the way down to stage 2-6. So there's no point in explaining that again in this video. Might as well go to stage 3-2, where this is around like the base second augment pick phase where you want to level to 6. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to be as strong as possible with extra unit on the board so you can have extra traits and win the rounds from here on out. In some cases, you can 10 streak all the way to wolves, meaning you can like win 10 rounds all the way to wolves. So if that's the case, you want to level to 7 as soon as possible, which is for the base style, you want to hit level 7 on 3-7, but that's during wolves. If you want to continue win streaking, you can hit level 7 at stage 3-4 or 3-5 if it doesn't hurt your econ. And speaking of econ, sometimes when you hit level 6 on stage 3-2, you might be around like 30 gold, which is fine. But if you know you're gonna lose anyways, then you can hit level 6 whenever you want later. You don't have to do it on stage 3-2, you can do it on like stage 3-4, which is like the second default style. If you want to save 50 gold as much as possible, that's fine. But if you know you're gonna keep winning, just do this route. Stage 3-2, hit level 6, and then stage whatever you want, hit level 7, or the base style 3-7, hit level 7. And then after this part, if you're playing for 3 cost carries, say for example like Fiddlesticks carry reroll, then you can roll most of your gold here as much as you want, maybe around down to like 30 gold or 20 gold, so you can have as much copies as you can. But don't roll literally at wolves though, roll the round after wolves, because if you roll on creep round, it's a no-go since you're gonna be losing out on free econ that you could have saved during that free round of only going against PvE. But if you're gonna play for 4 cost carry, then at stage 4-2, then hit level 8 and then roll for your board. And in most cases, you want to roll down to either 10 gold left or down to 0, because if you get a 4 cost level 2, then you should be strong enough to either win streak again or at least win enough to be top 4. After stage 4-2, it's kind of a free-for-all. Whatever happens kind of thing. But if you want a default style, then you want to roll down to at least around 10 gold left and then save as much gold as you can until Raptors. Then after Raptors, you decide if the next 2 or 3 turns you want to hit level 9 or if you want to roll down again for 2 stars of 4 cost units. So that is the default way to fast 9 as well. And for you as a player, you have to determine these things where after Raptors, which is kind of important because this means you're either going to be dead or hopefully you're strong enough to maybe get first place where you can decide to hit 9 and then play for stronger units that way, maybe 2 stars on 5 cost units. Or if you're in a position where you're too weak, then you're just going to have to roll all your gold again after Raptors at level 8 for 2 stars so you can hit top 4 at least. This is the part where I can't really help you with. This is more of like, you have to understand yourself on where you stand, on how strong you are. Now, the last playstyle is lose streaking the fast 8, and we already basically explained from this blue part and yellow part. The red part is actually pretty important because after you lose streak, then at stage 3-2, this is where you determine if you want to come back from lose streaking and then win streak afterwards, or you can continue lose streaking, but then by then when you hit wolves, you're gonna be like less than like 40 HP, so it's kind of scary to do. So if you don't want to play with low HP, then I would advise to at stage 3-2 hit level 6 and then roll around like 10 gold for level 2 units if needed. If not, then just hit level 6 and then maybe lose streak all the way down until at stage 3-7 hit level 7 and then default stage 4-2 hit level 8 and then roll for your board. If you lose streak all the way down to stage 4-2, you're probably going to be around like 30 HP. So be very careful on lose streaking this far. It's only in the case of if you're playing Cypher or Vex, then you play around that 30 HP area. And speaking of Cypher, the strat that I can tell you is you could win at stage 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, and then pivot into lose streaking on stage 2-4 and 2-5. The main reason why is because in order to gain max stacks on Cypher, you need to have higher than a lose streak of 3. So this means that you can win the first basically 3 beginning rounds and then lose the next 2 rounds, and then after creep round, then when you lose again from there, you should have Cypher on the board and then you gain a lot of stacks that way. So if you want to use that Cypher strat, you can do that too. If not, if you want to play Cypher from the beginning, that also works as well. But the style I just said, you save a lot more HP in the long run. And that is it on how to level or how to play the many different playstyles we do currently in TFT. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer the best of my capabilities. Until the next one, later.